I want to thank a few people. First and foremost, Art for Amnesty, Marvin Bing for curating this and putting it together. The production team behind the scenes, everybody in the kitchen and the back assisting, most specifically Kevin and Matt for the installation of the show. Without all of you guys, we as artists don't have this platform and can't reach people, so we're very grateful for that. Also, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention a member of our team who had a tragic accident earlier in the week. Cassidy, I thought hopefully you recover well. So I don't want to be redundant, and because I'm not in front of the work, after I leave the stage, I'll probably be describing that in detail numerous times today, because I feel it's important for everybody to get that. But I want to talk about some bigger picture ideas, some tenets of my beliefs that make me who I am as a person and an artist. When I was approached by Marvin and Amnesty about art for social justice, I kind of laughed and said, "Where you been all my life, man? I've been doing this." I didn't have to change my artwork and my subject matter to fit an activist realm. This is what I do every day of my life. It's what I do with every bristle of every brush, every paint, every tube. I feel like art chose me. I didn't choose art because it's so important for me to use my talent to help further a message, build society, use all 5'4" of myself to hopefully make a small difference. There's a famous quote by Banksy. He says, "You die twice. Once when your heart stops, second when they say your name for the last time." And that always really resonated with me. Because although I do a lot for you guys here present day, but what you lay down now, what your legacy is, can affect somebody in the future. And that assures your name to be repeated. So these actions that we take today, this week, tomorrow, can not only make you eternal, but change somebody's life far from now. So I always talk about purpose in my work, purpose in my life. I believe that one of the most beautiful universal languages we have is art. That's why in the introduction, we talk about how art can change the world and what this means. Why is that? It's because we see things the same. We all have the same iris, cornea, nerve endings, the synapses fire. We see the same. Where language is a barrier, a lot of times art and the visual stimulation can be the common ground that we. Are we defining history right now the way we want to be? I talk about living in a microwave society. We got a packaged meal, we put it in for 30 seconds because we're hungry and we want to eat. But what happened to marinating for 2 days with spices, softening the meat, putting the work into the meal, the recipe? So when I make paintings, it's not packaged for 30 seconds. You can't microwave it. It's an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. And when you leave, you're going to tell everybody to go back to that restaurant. That's the purpose of what I do. So it breaks my heart as a son of Baltimore. My father was a police sergeant, retired. My brother was in riot gear during the riots for Freddie Gray's death. And so much of my life has been about trying to reach across to people who look different than me, that I consider family and brothers, because it breaks my heart, this rift that we all exist in. We can tuck it under the rug and say it's better, but it's not. And too many of my brothers and sisters have a way too different experience than I do. So I use my privilege, my platform, the things that I'm afforded, to shed light in dark places that don't get light and deserve light. So for 300 years from now, you wanted to talk about what it was like to live right now. That's what that painting is. If the hate is so built up inside of you, no matter what side you're on, because of that arm wrestling struggle in the middle, I wanted to give you the other reasons that make that fight. So you understand that the one thing that can fix this is all of us being together and working together. So that fight is a very purposeful, very wanted, and it's utilized as a tool to keep us apart. I said earlier, in what mathematical equation does 99% lose to 1? We know we're the 99%. We know the 1% has the control. I heard some statistic the other day, what's like 90% of the wealth is in the 1%. Some crazy imbalance of society and how we're living. So, if that fight is wanted, then how do they produce that fight? If you look at the charts and statistics, America spends more per capita per student than any other country. And forgive me, I'm not going to spit to you exact numbers because don't get bogged down in the details of the numbers. I'm giving you the bigger picture. America spends like 3 times more per student than the second place country per education. Yet we continuously score about 40th or 50th in the world for standardized testing. So, is that money well spent? Or is that money being spent the wrong way? But to have an education, they don't want you to be able to process this. And they're spending money per capita for exactly the solution they want, which is people who are blind and oblivious, scoring in the middle of this, the pack. We spend all that money to make us stupid. That's why our textbooks are wrong. That's the purpose of the history book in that painting. The last thing I want to talk about is this idea of we teach hate. It's the thing that kills me the most, right? I don't have kids. I have a dog, Michelangelo, like my son. But at what point, ask yourself this, what point did you learn what color you were in your life? When did you figure that out? I said earlier about sea turtles, right? The turtle comes out of the ocean, they lay the eggs, and when those turtles hatch, they know to go back to the ocean. They know the direction. Birds know the flying of the trade winds, how to migrate. These things are built into the DNA of the species of nature. I refuse to believe that it's built into our makeup to teach hate. I refuse to believe it. I said to my man yesterday, because we always have these conversations in my studio all the time. Remember when Jamie Foxx just saved somebody recently in the news? How famous is Jamie Foxx? How much does he have to lose? And it turns out that guy that crashed the car was a drunk driver, right? Probably could have killed somebody else. But before even thinking about it, Jamie Foxx is outside in his neighborhood pulling somebody out of the car and saving him. That is built in DNA, human nature. Not hate. So the thing that hurts me the most, that gets me emotional, that I stay up for days at a time and put my life into this, is that we teach hate, man. And so if you have children, no matter what age they are, and even right now, because the only thing you waste is the moment you don't do anything. But if we keep on teaching each other to hate the differences among us, and we keep teaching this next generation to make the same mistakes that we all did because we failed, it's never going to get better. Man. Teach each other the beauty. My friend Dexter right here, I've known him for a long time, man. He's beautiful to me because he looks different than me. And I know he sees the beauty in me too. Stop teaching each other hate. Stop teaching each other hate. Keep supporting the things that are positive. Have these conversations. Don't be afraid to stand up. One of my favorite quotes, stand up and speak truth. Even if your voice shakes, man. Even if your voice shakes. So if you guys have been silent, I believe that everybody came to this room because you're about what we about. You're about what we're doing in here, right? Yeah. So don't just come here, enjoy beautiful Don Karen, Urban Zen, take pictures and hashtag, do something. Teach love. Erase hate. Everybody knows, I'm going to make one more point. You know when it's just a room filled with people that look the same as you? The people who are comfortable to start talking wild stuff that they wouldn't say otherwise? Because now it's just their people in the room. I challenge everyone the next time that you're in that situation to be the anomaly. Be the difference that stands out and says, wait a second, don't talk like that. Don't poison these kids. You know? I understand history. I've educated myself to the point I said earlier. I know I'm prepared for it. I'm ready. Bring it on. Because I'll speak the truth with my voice shaking as long as I can. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.